Today has been a good day, my friends. So I went shopping today. Grocery shopping, hit up 3 stores, the last one being Walmart. And as far as my pre-order goes, it still hasn't updated. So, and it had not updated when I got to the store. So, Mom let me just get it at the store, and I'm gonna get the package refunded if it ever fucking gets here. So did shopping, came home, had chicken, and finally began Metroid Dread. Now I'm not gonna get into specifics, because one, I want to finish the game, and then maybe do a spoilers thing. I haven't decided. And two, I just don't, I'm tired. I already was I stayed up later than, I stayed up past the level of tired I usually would have because Metroid Dread. I mean, come on. But I don't want to get started rambling again because I want to go to sleep. So, instead, I will just mention it plays wonderfully. Truly it does. It's so smooth. The animations are fantastic. The fluidity of the motion and the combat. Being able to do the melee counter on the move and in the air is every bit as wonderful as I thought it would be. It's just amazing. It runs at a solid 60. I have not seen frame dip once. It's just fantastic. I'm having so much fun. And one thing I will say is, I remember after the launch trailer thinking the game, the world itself in particular, looked really barren and flat. And without spoiling, I'll just say that's kind of just the beginning of the game. That's just that area. There are much more vibrant and active environments. In fact, there are a surprising amount of little details that just go on in the background. Stuff that I would just stop and watch sometimes. So, it just truly is fantastic. I died a number of times, specifically against bosses. But even then, it's not frustrating because, one, the checkpoint system is in place that is similar to Samus Returns, which I really appreciate. Like, it's not... part of why you play these games is for the challenging gameplay of the bosses. So, you know, it just sticking you outside the room and letting you immediately try again without having to do the walk up from wherever you saved last. It keeps the bosses fun. If I had to trudge back to the boss every time I died, like in some of the past Metroid games, that's when they start getting annoying. Dark Souls kind of suffers from this as well. But in a way, I kind of feel like Dark Souls is more designed around that pain. Souls games in general, they're just kind of... You expect that from them, but not every game has to be them. And so it's not... You really get this... You get this tight, rewarding combat where if you're getting wailed on, you definitely feel like it's your fault. There are quite a few times where I would die, and instead of saying that's bullshit, it would be more along the lines of, I've got to just stop standing there and shooting at it. I need to actually move. Because even from, of course, some abilities make, increase mobility even more, but even just at the beginning, Samus is pretty mobile, very nimble, not heavy and clunky like it can be in past games. That's always one of my few things going back to Metroid. Sometimes it can feel a little extra heavy and like, oh, come on, please. And I'll say, to a degree, even Fusion managed to improve on that. Also, the control layout. I know that a lot of it's going to have to do with this version benefits from the most buttons. I think this version, I think Metroid Dread has a controller with the most button input of any Metroid game ever. So if you look at the original, you had 2 buttons. You had 4 buttons and a D-pad. Super Metroid, you had 6 face buttons, and I'm counting starts and select, and 2 shoulder buttons. And then, trying to think, next closest would probably be GameCube. And the Switch controller has, I think at final count, 2 more buttons than a GameCube controller. Because GameCube didn't have a select button, and it did not have a second shoulder button on the left. On the right you had R and Z, but you only had L on the left. I'm rambling. None of this is important. It's just so good. It's just so good. This isn't that uncommon for me. But, like, when I finally settled, I made sure I was well, it is uncommon for me to, like, I almost ceremoniously prepared today. I I sat down and ate, and normally I probably would have eaten while watching the opening cutscenes or something, or at least the title menu. No, I did not boot the game up until I ate. I did go ahead and put it in the console just in case there was an update. But I just sat there on the home screen until I was completely ready. Pulled my shade down so it was nice and dark. Cinematic up in this bitch. And I didn't get up for approximately 4.5 hours. I'm fairly certain I didn't check my phone in any of that time. There was, like, even the loading screens, I was just staring at, because when I say loading screens, it's, traveling between areas. So, Samus in an elevator. But I was just looking at all the detail in the suit. And good God, I love this game. It's so good. And I really, really hope it does well. I need to look up what the initial numbers are. Although I'm upset and worried, because someone with, I assume, a review copy, ripped and uploaded it towards the beginning of this week. So a ROM has been circulating most of the week, and apparently Switch emulation isn't hard. I haven't looked into it at all because the Switch is a current console. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm a saint and don't dabble in it, but I tend to keep the dead consoles. Dead consoles, or, when it comes to things that are available in other places, I stick to what I own. Like, take, I've had this conversation. I'm so tired. I am so tired. I'm asleep now, because that means that, when I am done sleeping, I can wake up and be not tired and continue playing Metroid Dread. It's so good. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Good night.